Welcome back to another episode of King's Court, the trade deadline special. I got the co-host Dumont back again after a sabbatical for a couple weeks. I don't know where you went. Who cares? But you're back. You're back. Dumont, welcome to the trade deadline special, bro.
Thank you. It was good to take a couple of weeks off. I was angry, I was frustrated, I was fuming. Um, it's hard for me to share a platform with somebody who tanks. It's not what I would have expected from you. It's not what I ever would have expected from you. I thought of you as a bigger person than that. So when you decided to tank, it kind of hit me hard. So I decided to take a couple weeks away. I had to relax, catch a breather, and I'm ready for my return.
All right. All right. It's a rebuild. It's on a tank.
The tank.
Anyways, Dumont, what we've seen this year so far, brand new league.
Hmm.
I think it's going really well. Yes, a little top heavy, but the middle's a little crowded. And I think with this trade deadline, you either got to go up or you're gonna go down. If
You know
you're
which
in
way
the
you want.
if you're in the middle, guess what? You're a dead man.
I agree. And there's a lot of pretend, even on the top part. There's some pretenders that we're going to talk about. There's some people that should tank, and there's some guys that should be moved. So let's get into it.
All right, sounds good. Let me hop on the screen share here and let's talk about the league. Let's talk about the team. Um, Ricky, a perfect 10-0. Congratulations, Ricky. This is your first dynasty league ever, and 10-0
Really?
very first one ever. 10-0 is very
Wow.
impressive. Ricky is
Wow.
a diehard fantasy football bro, and he's been wanting to do the dynasty thing for a long time. So he's crushing
And
it.
when you go dynasty, there's no way you can go back to redraft. I can't. I'm in 3 leagues, and one of them is the redraft, and it's hard to get into it. There's nothing beats dynasty.
Nothing beats Dynasty. We're gonna follow that up by Joka at 7-3. I think those two safe and sound in the playoffs. Nothing to really discuss there. And then look at this log here, Dumont. Seeds starting with Jordan, seed 3, 6-4, all the way to number 8 seed at 5-5. What a clusterfuck do we have?
It's certainly a clusterfuck, and I think there's one team that's going to fall out of there and kind of fall to the bottom of the rankings, but I think everybody else is going to kind of battle for the rest of the year. So it's gonna be a good shootout.
All right, all right. Love to see that. And then we'll kick it with Marty and Diego. Those guys 4-6, just a game out, easily in the playoff hunt. Same thing with AK. We'll see what these teams decide to do. We'll talk about it a little later on. But then we got the scrubs. I'll throw myself as a scrub. 3-7.
Oh, bold take, easy, Hugo, easy with the bold takes. The pod just started.
So 3-7, me and Stick, and then my boy IB. I know it pains IB to be 2-8. It hurts my man IB because he knows he's better than this. So, Dumont, let's start. I threw some topics at you.
Yep.
We'll start at the bottom though. Your thoughts on these three teams with Alex, Stick, and myself. Before you keep going, I mean, I'll explain myself a little bit and what I think I'm at in this league.
Who asked you to do that?
The league wants to hear it. Come on, we know this. Come on, host of the show. What can I say? And this is a hot take. I know you're gonna roast me for it. My year is going great. This is exactly where I want to be. Especially after it's a hot take. It's a hot take.
Yes. Scorching.
Listen, I lost 2 absolute starters first 2 weeks of the year.
Jaylen Warren looks good, but when you say it's going good, the tank isn't going great. So you threw away the whole season, and the tank isn't going great. Jaylen Warren's putting up points. You're winning games. You're beating people. Like, you should be scoring at 30 points a week every week. So what's good about this? To me, you're kind of in no man's land.
What's good about this is my team picks when it wants to score. Like, I'll have good scoring weeks, but then I'll just go like mute. What was it? I had like 47 points one week.
It was like 30.
Whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, it's so hit or miss because I don't have a bench. I have 0 bench to speak of, and it's gonna help me I'm in it for the long haul in this dynasty league. For me, it's not about this year. Next year, dare I say it, I may be back. So I think I'm having a good year. It's going according to plan. It's not a great year because I'd be in the playoffs, all that, but my season is going according to plan. If I could put
You're,
we'll
but
see.
you're probably not going to get the first overall pick, right? Stick's probably going to get that.
Stick, I know you're going to listen to this. Your team pisses me off so much, dude. Because your team should be scoring more than what they are. If you want my honest opinion, let's go to Stick's team right here.
Good. I mean,
Like when
I think his tank started the second he traded me Jordan Addison for Quinn Johnson. That's the
absolutely the robbery of the season. I think Well, I did also sell Miles Sanders for a first. So that's highway robbery.
That was gross, and that was gross when it happened. Let me just toot my own horn. I said that was gross when it happened.
You did.
That was brutal.
Shout out to Spencer. But I mean, Bryce Young blows. This guy isn't gonna make it. Isn't gonna make it.
That is not an NFL player. There's no way that guy should be on an NFL field.
No, but he's gonna have Jahmyr Gibbs stud.
Give me Tommy DeVito over Bryce Young.
Yeah, that's a scorcher right there. Give me DeVito's mom and the home cooking over Bryce Young any day.
Horny?
Bonk. Anyway, we got Jahmyr Gibbs over here. We got Pickens. Like we got Ferguson. It pisses and Devontae Smith. The bench is weak, but
so he's not, his max PPF is going to be garbage because his bench is weak.
Yeah, but so is mine, dude. I think he has a stronger bench than I do.
Yeah, but your lineup's way better. I mean, what are you planning on selling off the rest of your assets, or are we just hanging on for the trade?
This is the trade deadline special, guys.
So talk to me about DJ Moore.
Let's talk, buddy. Let's go to my team because I still have pieces. Like you're saying, my running backs are crushing it, bro. Like
they can't throw the ball, so I would hope so.
Yeah, Najee finally came alive, and Jaylen Warren is exactly why you draft handcuffs in Dynasty.
You can start both of them.
Yeah, I start both of them. Have been for weeks now, and Jaylen Warren
because you have no other backs.
I got nothing else. If I don't get Marvin Harrison at 1, you guys are never gonna. I think we might have 5 running backs go in the top 5 picks. Everyone needs a running back.
Who are you gonna take if you don't get Harrison?
I don't know. To be determined. But Marvin Harrison is the crown jewel of this draft.
And it's probably going to be a stick, so good tank.
Yeah, seriously. Look at this bench. This is all prepping for the future. I got guys that are scoring zeros left and right.
You realize you're bragging about guys that are scoring 0 points.
No,
it's a sad state of affairs over at Team Hugo.
I'm telling you my point. My bench is probably the worst bench in this league.
Congrats, I guess.
So I'm going according to plan. One day, this guy right here, Nick Chubb, he'll make his triumphant return, and it'll be to the promised land. But
have you tried to trade Nick Chubb for somebody that's tanking? Trade him.
No one's gonna trade for Nick Chubb. Nobody.
Maybe for like a second.
We'll see. Hey, come and get him, guys. Anyway, like bottom 3. Do you see this as being the final bottom 3 right here? Because I do.
I don't know. I mean, Ivy kind of got the raw end of things. I mean, he really shouldn't be as bad as he is. But at this point, you're not going to make playoffs, likely, unless you went out.
And he has a good team. He's just had some tough weeks, man.
Well, I mean, I think he's probably got the most points against, or at least top 3 or top 2 points against. Mm-hmm. But he should, at this point, just embrace the tank. He's got CeeDee Lamb sitting there for the taking. From my sources, my trusted sources, I'm hearing that there are teams with assets who have reached out looking to trade for CeeDee. I don't know who it is, but there's teams with assets that have tried to trade for CeeDee. At this point, why not just trade him and embrace the tank?
See, here's the problem that I have with that, Dumont. And I'm going to give everyone a sneak little preview because one of the topics that I have lined up later on in the show is players that no matter what should not be moved. CeeDee Lamb cannot be moved. There is not enough that you could offer for CeeDee Lamb right now. And like I said, Alex's team isn't half bad. Like Alex can be back next year. If he loses CeeDee Lamb, that's trouble, man. You can't replace a guy like CeeDee Lamb in the draft.
How many firsts you getting for CeeDee? 2?
You need at least 2 and then maybe some swaps, but if 3 firsts present themselves, I do it for 3 firsts.
AJ Brown went for 2. The market's been set.
It has. It has. 2 firsts for sure. I thought you gave up or you got a little something more than that. Was it just a 2 first?
2 firsts. Tough
All right.
trade. Not gonna lie, tough trade.
Yeah. Would you like to have AJ Brown back right now?
I didn't know I was gonna compete like this, so yeah.
All right. All right. Hey, the truth shall set you free, Dumont.
But one of my picks is looking a little better. I think I got D Chiz's pick, so it's looking a little better. It's looking a little better.
All right. D Chiz, Dylan, part of that middle of the pack. So we'll stop talking about the bottom. Let's focus on the middle over here. All these 6 and 4 teams, starting with Jordan at 3 to 4 and 6 with AK. Dumont, I'll give you the floor because I think you have some pretenders that you want to talk about.
I do, and I think we might have disagreed in the production meeting on this. You mentioned somebody that could be a dark horse, and I mentioned somebody that's a pretender, and that's Vinny. I think he's as big of a pretender as it gets. He's got the lowest points against in the league, Hugo. Check the numbers. Lowest points against in the league. He squeaked out some wins that he should have squeaked out. You look at his starting lineup. He's got Madison playing, who hasn't done shit this year, and I think he's hurt now.
Yeah.
Brees Hall, he's playing better, but the Jets are still going to jet at some point. So
the Jets will always jet.
They're always going to jet.
I'll literally die on my deathbed saying that the Jets will jet.
And he's a good talent. You look at him, the guy can play, but something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. I'm not wishing for it, but something is going to happen.
13 carries for 28 yards this past week. Not good.
Not good. Not good. Not good. Christian Watson.
Most disappointing player in fantasy, in my opinion, this year.
100%. 100%. And he's battled injuries, and Jordan loves throwing him the ball. I get all that. You got to play better. You got to play better. Ingram's had a good year. I like Ingram. He's had a good year.
And St. Brown is dominant.
Judy, you're lucky if you break double digits with him. So yeah. I see Vinny, I think, falling out of the playoffs here at some point. Maybe Diego or Marty gets into the mix, but I kind of see a free fall from Vinny. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. So here's where I'll disagree. I think Vinny's gonna stay in the playoffs. We have 4 more weeks left till the playoffs. 6 and 4. He's got
breathing down his neck, Hugo. He's not gonna hold that top 4 spot. I know that.
Listen, this middle is very tight. It's 6 and 4. You could fall to 6 and 6 real quick in the next 2 weeks, and be out of it. Give me another pretender, Dumont.
That was the big one. Another pretender. We want to talk about Koulis. Should we talk about Koulis?
Let's talk about Koulis because
he's got to make a move.
That's another topic I want to talk about. Teams that need to make a move. Koulis, you are my number one. You got to make a move here, bro. You got to make a move. You have studs at wide receivers that have had good years all year round, have been consistent. Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Adam Thielen. And don't get me wrong, Koulis, I know you're going to listen to this. Making a move in Dynasty is the scariest thing in the world because once it's made, it's forever, man. This isn't a redraft where you're going to draft these guys again next year. But you're
Madison? Vinny put Madison on the block. Maybe you can get a hold of him for cheap.
Trash.
Better than what he's got.
Better than what he's got because running back is his biggest need. And there's very few teams that are still selling running backs. I got Najee Harris for you. But hey,
what's the price? What's the price, Hugo?
That will not be discussed on this podcast for the sake of not ruining his value. But
he does it on his own.
He lost J.K. Dobbins first week of the year. That was brutal. So look at these assets. He's only gotten a first from Vinny in a swap. He's got a first. You're 5 and 5.
One of those first would look good on my team. Maybe we can move Pollard. We can discuss it.
Hey, we can discuss here. So Dumont, let's talk about you because you're 6 and 4. What's your move? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make playoffs? You're selling off Pollard? What are you doing? Let's talk about you.
I'm open for business, Hugo. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking to sell. I'm looking to add. I'm looking to make moves. I'm open for business. I'm a championship contender. No one thought I would be. I remember your power rankings. Everybody remembers your power rankings. That's a championship team, Hugo. JSN is rise. Addison's beautiful. James Cook, he fumbled twice. He had one of the best games of his career. He looked amazing.
That fumble
they just fired Ken Dorsey, Hugo. They're going to start running the football. I promise you. They're going to start running the football.
the fumble he had when he broke that huge run that bounced right back into his hands was one of the luckiest fumbles I've ever seen in my life.
One, Hugo, he falls there, or two, he loses that ball, I lose that game.
You lose that game, bro. And you may
I'm
never
writing
see
number
James
4 until
Cook.
the day I die.
You may never see James Cook ever again. If
You might have never seen me again.
But obviously the Jordison's Addison steal. I have Jordan
Ray
Addison
McBride is balling.
and McBride's balling. Like you got the team that can compete. Which is
like I was talking about CD, that there was people that with assets that were looking.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about myself, but just looking at my team here, I got the assets for it. I can make moves for CD.
You can make a move. So I know IB would stress over that so much if he got an offer for CD. But Dumont,
I'm buying.
Your picks here. This is I call you the Vinny of this dynasty league because Vinny only has first round picks in our other one. These are nice assets that you have, and so I think you have to make a move, dude. I didn't want to tell you, but you need to like get in to this playoff push.
Hugo, these assets are burning a hole in my pocket. I can't get them out of there soon enough. So look, I'm open for business. Everybody that listens to this tomorrow, hit me up. My line is open. I'm open for business. I'm looking to make moves. If you're a tanker and you know you're a tanker, talk to me. I will not judge you. I promise. Ask Hugo. I will never hold it against you. Come and tank. Give me your assets. I'll give you my draft picks, and we'll make history.
All right. I like to hear it. I like to hear it. Give me a team that is in this middle bunch here, Dumont, that needs to head south and tank because I'm about to give it to you with my opinion, and that guy's Marty. Marty needs to enter the tanking conversation here. Let's pull Marty up here.
Does Marty's phone work?
Marty is the worst person to ever get a hold of through cell phone that I've ever met in my life.
I'm not for any particular reason. I was just curious.
Yeah. It's always dead. It's on silent. He doesn't touch it for hours. It's fucking Marty.
Do we know if C-Mac is on the block? People are asking, not me. People are asking. I don't know.
Which leads me to another absolute trade deadline special here. Christian McCaffrey needs to get off of Marty's team, and he needs to sell because McCaffrey, dude, he's had a long shelf life, and when's that bubble gonna pop? I know George Kittle's bubble is about to pop real soon. That's another player. That's why, like, he has Olave. That's a nice young player for the future. He needs running backs. Like, he has Swift, who's been okay this year for him, but Cam Akers totally fucked Marty too.
But I mean, C-Mac, he's got value still. I know he's getting old.
Got a lot of value.
There's guys that need running backs.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody's interested. I don't know.
Look at this. This is why the trade deadline special had to happen. I'm glad you spoke up.
Well, I didn't get invited. I didn't know what was going on.
Bro, you read the chat. What'd I tell you?
The deadline podcast was about to get canceled, and you know what? I care about the league, Hugo. I can put my differences aside with you, and I can save the league. I can say, look, I got to step in and fix this because without me, none of this happens. So I put my differences aside. I got over that you're a tanker, and I saved the podcast. I saved the day. What can I say?
All right. So again, not to shit on Marty because hate to do that, but this is not a championship caliber team. You're 4-6. You should really be selling here.
Not to shit on Marty, but
yeah, you got to sell. Just while we're on the topic of players that you may be about to miss the boat on, let's talk about Jordan. Jordan isn't going to escape here. This is Booty Lovin', the team that you just barely beat this week here, Dumont.
Never a sweat.
Is it just me or is Saquon Barkley already dead?
Ben.
This is an absolute travesty here.
We had how many rounds was the draft? 12 rounds?
The initial draft was 19.
Wasn't even on my draft.
I love that. He wasn't on mine either. Literally was not going to touch Saquon with a 10-foot pole. But unfortunately for Jordan, he needs him to win this year if he wants to really go and get it because, like, we talk about bad benches.
That's a tough bench.
He got players that got negative points for him on it.
You could use a couple of those. Maybe you should trade for his players that are scoring negative points.
Jordan, call me. Travis Kelsey being down there. Travis Kelsey's having a down year. Like
He's busy.
yeah, fucking repping the Kelsey family right here, bro.
Now, next week's primetime game, Chiefs and Eagles, gonna be insufferable.
If you don't think I've been waiting all year for that game, Dumont, I'm gonna gamble the shit out of it. My heart is gonna be on my sleeve. I will die for the Philadelphia Eagles next Monday
I thought
night.
you were talking about the Pats. The Eagles. Okay.
I can't wait for that game Monday night. On my mic just got disconnected here.
I can still hear you. What's the spread? What's the spread?
I haven't even looked at it. Too soon. I'm focused on having a good week of practice this week. You know, the boys are back in the building. We just got off our bye week. We considered yesterday a victory Monday because, you know, we had things go our way playoff wise. We're still the number 1 seed. So we're good. But Monday night, one of the biggest nights of my life, next Monday night versus the Chiefs.
Okay. Gonna be insufferable, but
I will be.
In the game itself.
No, that game is, you know what I'm expecting from next Monday night?
Talk to me.
Give me another Chiefs Rams 2019 Monday Night Football game. Just
it could
give me a shootout. I can't wait for that game, dude. The juices are flowing already. So give me something else here, Dumont. What else you got on your mind over here?
Who are we talking about? You got me off track here.
I know. We're just talking about everyone. Like,
we're just talking
trade deadline special.
Whoever we talked about.
We haven't talked about Despensa. This is another team that's a little bit in no man's land. I think Despensa's about to make a nice little playoff push. I think he's in. He's the 8th seed right now. I think he's in. With this roster.
That's a good looking ball team. And Bijan's going to start getting more carries.
Yeah.
Rashad White's looking good. Obviously, it's his second year, I believe. He's starting to look good. James Conner just came back from injury. That could be the key to his success, how James Conner comes back. He didn't do a ton last week or this past week. But if he gets back to form, that's a really big flex there.
And he's got Kyler on the bench. People forget this was the preseason number 1 team.
And then I beat him. And people realize he was a pretender.
Hey, would you give up a 1st-round pick for a running back that got -5 yards?
What's M. Sanders? Who's that?
Some scrub, dude. But he's got Cooper Kupp about to enter the lineup. He needs Matt Stafford to play, obviously.
Yeah. No, that's a good team. He won't even need Jerome Ford on his flex. That's a good team. That's a dark horse. If we can call him a dark horse.
Yeah, we could call him a dark horse. I think I could be bold enough to say Matt Despensa doesn't need to make a move. He's fine the way he is.
You don't think so?
No, especially when he got a first from Vinny. Do you remember what this first came from? This was before the draft for Vinny to get into the 5th round of the draft. I think to draft Jerry Jeudy, if I am not mistaken, something like that.
That's gross.
So that's why he traded me for Sanders, because he still has one. So we'll see. So
yeah, but you wouldn't make a move for a receiver here?
I don't think I would.
A stud receiver puts him right in the conversation, a championship conversation. Because Debo's been hit or miss all year. That Pittsburgh offense, you can't really trust their passing game.
Yep.
He could benefit from. Obviously, he's going to have Kupp, and if Kupp comes back the way he should,
Kupp and Debo should be a good one too.
But is Debo the number 1 guy there anymore? I don't know if he is.
We'll see.
I don't know.
You know what, Dumont? Hopefully, Matt Despensa will listen to this. I know he is. He's a loyal listener. Yeah. You flipped me. He should make a move, and I hope that
the assets to do it.
Yeah,
he's got the assets. Dak has been going off. Bijan's going to keep going off. They're going to feed him more towards the end of the year for their playoff push. If he makes a move at receiver, we could be talking about a championship team here.
We could. Anyone else that we're missing? Give me your take on Diego. I called Diego a couple weeks ago on the podcast with Ricky as a team that's about to ascend. He just lost to me. Is this a fraud team?
You can't lose to a team that scores 30 points. That's first and foremost. Okay, you can't do it. I think personally he has the number 1 49ers receiver on his team, which is great.
Yeah.
Jacoby has been good, but it sounds like, from what I understand, this new Raiders team is going to pound the ball. So will he keep getting the opportunities? It sounds like Antonio Pierce wants to feed Devontae and run the ball. Is Jacoby going to take a back seat? Probably. So Diego needs to decide because he is a win now without a win now team.
Yes.
So to become that, he's got to trade for a bona fide number one. And if he does that, anything can happen in the playoffs. But if he doesn't make a move to add, he might need to start subtracting the older vets.
Yeah, I mean, Diego has all his picks. He has
Yeah.
Waddle and Pacheco who were just on a bye, so those guys will enter his lineup. He could
Waddle
definitely use
hasn't been great though. Waddle hasn't been great.
he's coming along the last couple weeks. So I believe in him. But when you have Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara, you have no choice but to win right now.
Or is it do some a little bit early and prepare for the future? Because is he going to win a championship this year with this team? Probably not. Do you kind of sell these guys like Derrick Henry to who to talk about Coolest that needs a running back? That's what we said, needs a running back, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you flip him and get some good value, and he goes into win now. That could be a move for Diego.
Yeah. So
either of those guys, Kamara,
either of those, exactly. I think Kamara would definitely require a first round pick and maybe a little something.
Oh, at least, dude. At least.
Yeah.
At least.
Are you thinking two?
At least one.
At least one.
For a team that's going to win right now, at least one at the minimum.
Yeah, because he's having a nice little year since.
I mean, Miles Sanders went for one, so we're probably talking 4 or 5 first for Kamara.
I like that. I like that. So Diego, little win now. Have we talked about AK a little bit? Talk to me about
a little bit. We did.
4-6. He's 1 game out.
Yeah. I don't know. Garrett Wilson was his first round pick. Obviously, he still puts up numbers no matter who's throwing him the ball, which is good.
When you're getting 14 targets a game, you should put up numbers.
Yeah. And Jonathan Taylor's rounding into form a little bit. He's looked more like himself the last couple weeks. AJ Dillon, I think, is kind of trash. So he might want to look into maybe hitting up Diego, grabbing one of his running backs. That could be a play.
Yeah. I think his bench is in trouble a little bit. Not a great bench.
Old and bad.
Yeah.
That's the first thought that comes to my mind.
I think come draft time, a lot of these rosters are going to have a lot of turnover next year.
Yeah, and people got to decide. I mean, if you don't decide now, you got to decide in the offseason if you're gonna be a contender or not. And I think we'll see a lot of moves in the offseason.
Absolutely. Too. I think AK should be a team that should start looking for the future and not this year. You're 4-6. Yes, you're 1 game out, but when you have guys like Amari Cooper and DeAndre Hopkins, you can flip those potentially for a first. You should be able to get a first. Not for D-Hop, I don't think, but Amari Cooper maybe. That's a receiver that's played well with Deshaun Watson. Getting 9 targets a game just based off this last one, 98 yards, 4 first down reception. That's pretty good. That's at least good flex starter every week.
And I mean, what about Jonathan Taylor? Is that a guy that could move?
That's a guy that I'm saving for next year for sure. I'm not moving Jonathan Taylor if I'm Tony. He's staying. Jonathan Taylor and Wilson definitely part of the future.
You're trusting a running back on a second contract?
I mean, it's a 3-year deal. So 3 years after this one.
Just always sketch.
It is, and those ready? I don't think Jonathan Taylor will see the end of his contract on AK's team. I could probably say no, but what I'm saying is he'll probably, if AK's smart, he's a smart player. He'll move him in a year or 2.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been pretty much talking about everyone. Did we talk about Dylan earlier? I don't think we have. Deaches. I think we did talk about him earlier. Good young players for the future. He has AJ Brown that he traded a haul for, 2 first-round picks. He's got T. Higgins, who's been disappointing this year too. Daniel Jones.
T. Higgins has been brutal this year.
But Dylan's got 2 running backs that are out right now. So Dylan, he's going to be a playoff team, and he's going to need to be because he's got no picks this year besides a 3rd and a 4th.
I mean, I don't pray on people's downfall, but if he keeps falling down the board, I won't complain.
Yeah, right. Is that because you have his pick or something?
I do.
All right.
For a little bit, those 2 firsts look like they're going to be 13 and 14. So
Yeah, they have gotten better for you.
They've gotten a little better. They've gotten a little
Yeah.
better.
So you're rooting anti-Dylan. I'm an anti-Matt Dispenza guy because I got his pick. Both teams 5-5, and
Hugo, how many? Hold on a second. How many firsts do you have?
I have two this year. I have my own and I have Matt Dispenza's.
Okay.
So my ideal plan is that I have 3 picks in the top 16.
Okay.
And that could flip a team around pretty quick.
Yeah, if you draft well. Clearly, you didn't draft
well.
well 6 months ago.
That startup, I have a lot of regrets that I won't talk about, but it could have gone better.
Hugo, it was me and Stick were not to throw Stick under the bus. We were texting on the side every pick he took. It was laughable. It was tough. It was tough to watch.
All right. Let's quickly finish out this trade deadline special. Joka and Ricky, we've left you guys last. Neither of you guys have any more ammo to do anything, in my opinion. You are what you are. Do you feel that same way, Dumont?
I do. And how about Keenan Allen? How about the year he's had? Didn't see that coming.
Have not, dude. He's just
unreal.
He found the fountain of youth. I mean, when you have Herbert, you're gonna be playing for a little while, and especially the way Keenan Allen runs, everything short and yards after the catch with him. He's not like exhausting himself running downfield on verticals or anything like that. Everything's always short to him.
He catches everything.
Everything, dude.
He's good. Yeah, this is a good team. I don't see you having to do much here.
Yeah.
Lamar has some weird. He's got one of those teams that could just drop a dud though. You know, you get into the playoffs. Lamar has a weird week. Terry doesn't get the ball. It's like but that's nitpicking. I mean, it's a good roast.
So Joka is one of the teams that I have beaten this year. So he did have a stinker against me. So can definitely say he's prone to a dud every once in a while.
Yeah. You can't. That's fantasy. I mean, as far as building a lineup, it's hard to do better than this.
Like the thing is, this guy right here, Justin Jefferson, he needs him to come back really bad. And once he does, like, he's gonna be fine. He'll pop in for Foreman. And we'll see. His tight end situation is bad right now. Unfortunately, Dallas Goedert broke his forearm, so he's on his bench right now. And he needs a tight end again right now. So maybe does Joka have anything that he could trade in the future? All the way down to 26. So it's he could be in trouble here.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Ricky, can we say he's the favorite to win it? Like he has Hunt and Cooks in there right now because Tyreek Hill is on his bench, and I
like Joka's team better.
You do?
I do. Right. I do.
Ricky, I know you're gonna listen to this too. Talk to me. What happens if Ricky chokes? 10-0, faces Joka. Or I think Dylan can get him too on a sneaky week.
I think he's peaking too soon, Hugo.
Dude, it's tough because I know if I had a 10-0 start, I'd be begging for a loss.
You'll also never hear the end of it.
Yeah, no, never. Literally, oh my God, I don't even want to think. We're not going to speak it into existence, Ricky, but you'd hate to see that.
You would hate to see it. I mean, they're the clear top 2 teams in the league. I personally like Joka's team a little bit better, but either one of those guys can win it on any given day. So
yeah,
I think that. I mean, if they make a move, great. If they don't, I don't think they have anything to worry about. They really
and this is why Dylan has seen some bad weeks. I know the the text may be a little small. Dylan's in the 6th seed, scoring 1,200 plus points, which is up there with Joka and 100 behind Ricky. But hey, he's right up there, man.
I completely misspoke. I apologize to listeners. I said Vinny had the lowest points against. I think it's Ricky.
Yeah, dude. No one. He's caught some people.
Could he be a pretender?
Oh, wow!
I'm looking at I knew he was 10-0. I never really looked at his roster that quickly. You just showed it to me, and it didn't wow me at all.
Yeah, I mean, who's gotten scored on the most? Probably me. It's IB. IB has. That's why he's probably 2-8.
Yeah, I mean, he got the rot. That's fucking brutal. I mean, he's got over 1,000 points for, and he's 14th. I don't even have 1,000 points for.
Yeah, So Dumont, we got 4 minutes left in this bitch. I think we're gonna see some moves.
Look, CD's got to move. C-Mac's got to move. Saquon's got to move.
Derrick Henry potentially has to move.
Derrick Henry and Kamara might have to move. Those are the big ticket items.
I think DJ Moore's got to move. Najee Harris has to move.
Hugo, let's talk. Hit me up. I'm interested in DJ Moore.
All right. Hey, we're gonna end the trade deadline special on that note. Dumont and I are gonna go talk trade. Hey, you never know what happens, but I hope I like where this league is at. I like everyone in this league. We're all in it. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, boys. We got 4 more weeks. And this is a sneaky something that I've liked about this league so far. Because it's a 14-man league and 14 teams, we all play each other one time. It's pretty fun.
Yeah,
So, I like that. Any closing statements from you, Dumont?
No, I think everybody just got to look out. I'm a dark horse. My team's a contender. I'm one of the most underrated teams in the league. I just came off a huge win, and don't be surprised when I take it all.
All right, we'll leave it at that, boys. This was a trade deadline special on King's Court. We will see you on the other side. Next time we'll probably hear from me is the playoff preview, where that's going to be fun talking about the matchups. I'm very
And the
excited.
best part about that, Hugo, is we won't have to talk about your team.
Oh, good one, good one. We'll end on that joke. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
And we'll stop the recording. Perfect.